What's up, everybody? It's Nick and Chris. We're back with one championship weigh-in results for Lights Out Friday's show in Singapore. How you doing, Chris? Good to see you again.
Oh man, absolutely fantastic. This is the one we've all been waiting for. Wanted to watch it for a long time, particularly this main event. I feel like it's been about a year and a half coming. I've been explaining to my friends like what a big night is. We've got stacked card, we've got the debuts of the Lopez sisters, we've got Liam Nolan, who should be getting a title shot anytime soon. Obviously, we've got the amazing Gary Tonin, Tan Lee, Bibiano Fernandes, John Lineker. It is shaping up nicely.
Yeah, a lot of drama this morning as well, though, Chris. A few people missing hydration and missing weight. None more important than, we'll get right into it, Bibiano Fernandes, Chris, the bantamweight champion in that. Is that the co-main event, right? Tanley and Gary, the main event.
Main events, yes.
All right, so co-main event, I don't know if you can say it's in danger because I think it'll still happen. But what happens, Chris, if Bibiano does not make weight tomorrow midday? He was 147 pounds, failed to his hydration test in the official weigh-ins, and then he came back at 4, weighed in at 147 pounds. What happens to him now? Lineker came under 143 pounds, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, so what happens if Bibiano doesn't make weight tomorrow? Then are they gonna? I know they'll do a fine him percentage of his purse, and then they're gonna try and negotiate a catch weight. But what does that mean if there's a title involved?
You know what? It's not too big of a problem, in my opinion, that it is Bibiano if he does miss weight. Obviously, it's not great for the fairness of it all because I think like your first job as a fighter should be making weight. If you're struggling to make weight, you're probably not in the right weight class. So that is a bit of my opinion on it. But when it comes down to it, I just with Bibiano missing weight, if he does miss, you can always say if John Lineker wins, he wins the title, and if not, he kind of technically defends the title if he wins Bibiano, but I won't count it as a title defense because he hasn't made championship weight. But I guess if it goes that way, it is all going to be okay and it will be kosher. I think it'd be more of a problem if you had the challenger, miss weight, then that is sometimes more of a problem because you go back to the old I want to say, it wasn't World Series,
Figueiredo.
was it WEC, Chael Sonnen versus Paulo Filo? Paulo Filo missed weight. Chael Sonnen won and he never got to win the title, the only title of his career. So he's kind of robbed at that moment. So I hope it doesn't go that way.
Well, I remember, Chris, a couple of years ago, this happened in the UFC, didn't it? Figueiredo and Joey B, where Figueiredo failed to make weight for the flyweight
Yep.
title fight, and then he beat Joseph Benavidez, but the title didn't change hands, so
Yep.
they redid that fight, and then he decisively won.
They were fighting for the title, though, that had been given up by Cejudo when he vacated, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was a vacant title. So it's slightly different.
Well, interesting to see how it plays out. Keep an eye on
Yeah.
it. Everyone will, of course, update you as soon as we can on SCMP MMA website. You can check out scmp.com/MMA. We'll be doing a fight companion as well around about half an hour or 15 minutes before the fights kick off. We'll see. We'll update you as soon as we can. But there was a lot of drama, Chris. Bibiano was first up to the scales. Well, he didn't even get on the scales, actually, in the morning. He came in, gave his sample for the hydration test. I've got the results all here. What did he it wasn't a big miss. It was 1.0292. So you need to be 250 and under to pass hydration. So he then spent about 2 minutes, in pure Bibiano Fernandes fashion, just very animated, arguing with them about it. And you could hear him off camera, even when Josh Tonner came up to the scale next. And the hydration tester had to say, maybe do this outside. The microphone is picking up everything. So they went outside eventually. But typical Bibby, very, very fiery character. Hopefully you can pass weight and hopefully no issues because, like you say, Chris, we've been waiting for this one for a long, long time as well. It's been cancelled a month ago, I think it was. And do you think that has anything to do with it, that Bibby has now had to make weight twice in space of a month? Because I think he was, on weight for that fight. When was it? Yeah, 2 cards ago.
Exactly 1 month ago. It was, I believe, it was actually going to be for the 11th of February because a month ago, right?
Yeah.
So it's quite obvious there. But you know what? I do have to say, I do have a lot of sympathy as well for John Lineker because, I mean, to come back a month after getting COVID, you don't know how COVID affects someone, but he must have got over it quite quickly. He has made weight. Just to show you, maybe Bibiano has a little bit more trouble making weight than John. But I don't really think he should be threatened. I think Bibiano has the team around him. He's trained at Volvo loads of times before. I don't really think he has any excuses for this one for me. And I'll tell you what, going into this year, you could argue that these two fights and the women's atomweight championship fight were probably the fights that people were most looking forward to
Yeah, a lot
going
of
into
people.
2022.
Yeah, a lot of people I know, and I know on my Twitter timeline, MMA circles, were all very, very upset when this one got pulled off the card last time because of Lineker getting COVID. I think it's got a bit of a wider appeal, hasn't it, to fans who outside of one championship,
Yeah.
general casual MMA fans are tuning in. Lineker obviously has history in the UFC. Bibiano has a big reputation from everything in Japan, so it makes sense. That wasn't the end of the drama, though, Chris. In the morning, there was a lot of people missed hydration and didn't weigh in. Gary Tonin didn't even give a sample. So he came up and just said, yeah, I know I'm not there yet. And he was wearing sweatpants and a hoodie. And he just got on the scales anyway, even though he knew he was going to miss. I don't really know why. And they asked him to take off his stuff. He said he was about a kilo over at first. I'll just weigh in like this. There's no point in me weighing in and breaking the heat seal right now. So he was in a process of sweating out, I think. And he got on, and then Rick Orty, who was conducting it, said, "Yep, you're overweight, Gary." And Gary said, "No way," with all the sweats on and everything. Quite funny moment. But that was the final. Gary was the final person to weigh in. So it looked like there were two title fights on this card, Chris. Having already lost another title fight in midweek, I think, Prajanchai and Joseph Lasiri. They were in danger now of the other two title fights. Something happened to those, but Garrett Tonin came back 4 p.m. and it seems like all was good because he stepped onto the scale for the ceremonial weigh-ins, 155 pounds, all good. Tanley, 153 pounds. That fight is on. A relief, to say the least, Chris.
Oh, 100%. What a relief. You know what? You could argue that in the fight before this, we have definitely two out of the biggest three Brazilian names in one championship. You could argue in this fight, we have the two biggest, arguably, the two biggest American names in one championship. Representing different parts of the United States, you kind of got the Northeast versus the South, that Louisiana style. You've got Tanley, one of the most phenomenal strikers in one championship. He's came in, everything he did at LFA, he's elevated what he's doing here. He's been knocking people out. He's been showing off his superior striking. If anyone who hasn't watched this fight with Martin, it is just absolutely fantastic. He practically just runs through him. And we've had to wait all this time to see him actually defend the belt, but we have got the classic matchup of striker versus grappler, 5 rounds. I just can't wait for this one. And I'm so happy Gary finally made the weight and made hydration.
I'm going to move myself to the right. I can't deal with this setup, Chris, with me looking into space. That makes more sense. All right. Yeah, some spicy quotes from both guys as well. Yeah, all said in jest, I may add, though. Gary was asked by Dom Lau, and he said, in jiu-jitsu, sometimes they call me the slippery salmon. I'm pretty tough to get a hold of. So I think he's going to have a tough time getting hold of me with his fists. And then his prediction, he said Tanley is going to be leaving missing one of his limbs. And Tanley, he said, I like the confidence there. Obviously, I think it's going to go the other way. I think he'll be asleep at the end of it. I'm as prepared as I've ever been. And when it gets there, I think he'll be in for a good surprise. Before we're getting there to the ground, I'm going to have a little something waiting for him. He's predicting a 4th round right leg knockout, Chris. So we'll get into our own predictions in a bit, but
yeah, that's what I like between the co-main and the main event. The co-main is absolute bad blood, absolute hatred. 2 guys just going at it who obviously just don't like each other, Bibiano and John Lineker. I thought they needed to be separated at the ceremonial weigh-ins, but then you do look at Tanley and Gary Tonin. Some of it does say, like, if they weren't fighting each other this weekend, they'd actually be friends and get on. Seems like more of a friendly rivalry, but I tell you what, when those two get in the one championship circle, it's going to be hard to keep them apart because they're just such fierce competitors.
Yeah, we'll get into our predictions in a bit. But as you said, yeah, I think it was Tanley who said in the interview with Andrew Whitelaw, shout out to Andy, before this weigh-ins, I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday, he said, hopefully he wants to train with Gary, I think, in the future when this is all said and done. You like to see it, don't you, Chris?
Oh, 100%. And I'll tell you what, one of the reasons I think they'd work so well together is I think Lee could teach Gary so much about striking and vice versa, right? They could teach him so much about takedown defense and what to do on the ground and all the ins and outs of jiu-jitsu.
Okay, quickly go through the rest of these weigh-ins. There were 8 overall, Chris, who missed or failed hydration or missed weight in the morning. I'm just looking through my notes. Josh Turner passed hydration and made weight. Tan Lei passed and made weight. Liam Nolan passed, made the catch weight limit. Silva passed, Alex Silva made weight. Lin Shin passed hydration, made weight. Echo Ronnie passed, made weight. And we had a few who came up and missed. 4 in a row, Chris, failed hydration. Kirill Gorobets, who's fighting Martin Nguyen, a former featherweight champion. The Lopez twins, Daniela and Milagros from Argentina, both failed hydration. And Chan Rotana failed hydration.
Ishmael Lont as well, the heavyweight kickboxer. Despite being a heavyweight, he weighed at 265 and missed his hydration.
Yeah, incredible. And Imam Barlow from UK had a close shave. They had to get the curtain out. Nice to see, Chris. They listened to you this time and had 2 women holding the curtain, not 2 men.
That's all I'm saying. It's not something I want to, have a go at one championship for, but to me, it's just one of those things, right? Like, if I was weighing in, I'd feel more comfortable having men do it. And I assume women are probably far more comfortable having women do it.
Yeah, I think it's the right way to go. Zhang Peimian passed hydration, made weight. Martin Nguyen passed and made weight. And John Lineker, all fine there. Kim Kyung-lok passed hydration, but missed the catch weight. They had to get the curtain out for him as well. So he was heavy. He was 80.2 kilograms, and the catch weight is 79. Then Gary, as we said, had his troubles.
Tamafana missed weight by 6 pounds. I think that's a pretty big miss. That's pretty bad. I just want to double check with you. Did Daniela Lopez actually miss weight? I thought it was just the first Lopez. I think the second one might have done the weigh-in at 4 o'clock and made weight.
Yeah, this is just from the officials, but then on the ceremonials, they had Milagros still missed hydration. She has until noon.
The other one made 124, I believe.
Yeah, Daniela made it 124. Kim Kyung-lok still has until noon. He's 3 pounds over still for that catch weight. Chan Ratana, as you said, 141 pounds, 6 pounds over there. Missed weight, has until noon Friday. And I think the rest were fine. The others who missed in the morning, there were no issues apart from, as we said, Bibiano Fernandes. So a few people are going to have to come back to the scale, Chris, on Friday morning.
Yeah, all right. 100%. Hopefully, I guess around 1 o'clock Singapore time. So before you've ever woken up, Nick, over in the UK, and when most people in America are already asleep, I think we'll find out what's happening with the title fight and with everyone who's missed weight.
Yep, hope to wake up to good news. You don't want to see this fight's off or something like that. Some people in the chat, hello Percy, saying, since Bibi missed weight, will one strip him off his belt? I don't think so, Chris.
I doubt it, no. If anything, he'll just, if he wins, it won't count as a title defense. If he loses, Lineker will win the belt anyway, right? I think there's no need to run it back.
Okay. Good morning, says Alan Bones-Jones. Good morning, Alan. Good to see you. Let us know, anyone, if you have any comments, you want to make any questions you want to ask, but we're going to quickly run down this card. So let me get Fanatics up. If you haven't already...
They haven't got all the fights on Fanatics, just a heads up.
Uh-oh, indeed. Well, I was having a look. It's got the 2 title fights.
Here we
seems
go.
to be a few missing, but let's see what we got, Chris, and we'll make our predictions accordingly. You have already made your picks. You've gone for Gary Tonin in that main event against Tan Lei, the lightweight MMA title. Why are you picking Gary? Go for it, Chris.
I just think Gary has everything. His striking has improved and improved and improved since he made his debut in one championship. He's getting better and better. He's fantastic. We saw in his last venture out, he really has put a lot of it together. His head movement is what's really impressed me. His foot movement is much better. He's starting to look like a fairly reputable striker now. And I just think at some point he's going to be able to get the fight down. I think it's going to be a bit later than most people think. Maybe about the 4th round, and I won't be surprised if he can get him down and he can sub him out. I'll be looking at quite possibly heel hook, maybe some leg locks. You know, that's what the Danaher Death Squad like. So it wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, it is really tough because Tanley has fantastic takedown defense, and you know, this is a guy who I believe only has that one loss on his record.
You've gone for sub as well. You're being bold enough to make the
Yeah.
pick. I am trying to access this card on the app. 1 second. Here we go. So download if you haven't. I'll put it in the yellow ticker. All the information here, how you can get Fanatics. Please download it and join our SCMP MMA group. We make all our picks there for all of these one championship cards, but also UFC, Bellator, PFL, what have you. It's great fun. There's a chat group in there. We all banter on fight days. Anyway, I've been going back and forth on this one, Chris. I've been dreading this moment, to be honest, for the last year. Whenever they've been trying to make this fight, because I like both guys, and obviously done a couple of face-off interviews with them, and very friendly. It's tough. I don't want to. I'm leaning to Gary, but I think it's going to be the way the Matsushima fight went. I think it's going to be 5 rounds where I think Tan is not going to be helpless and defenseless on the ground. I think he's going to defend well, but he's not going to be able to get it where he wants it. I think Gary's going to be able to get him down each round and then take a decision. So I'm going with Gary by decision. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I think we're going to have a new champion. And I think Tanley is probably going to get a rematch eventually, and we'll see. This could be the beginning of a real rivalry, Chris, in that division.
Oh, 100%. And the thing is, they're both, I believe, 29-33. I think they've both got enough to whoever loses to come back and fight for the title again. I just think that this is one of those divisions with everything that's happened in COVID, both these guys being in their prime right now. We just want to see them fight. And I think whatever happens, it's early in the year. Whoever loses, I think you try and book them again in summer. I think you try and book them again in the autumn. And then hopefully these guys can do it again. And you've just got so much talent down in this division. It is truly stacked, and you've got talent coming up. So, you know, anything can happen. And as I keep saying, in one championship with all the pause we had through the pandemic, I think we need a hell of a lot of Grand Prix at the moment. I'd love to see them in multiple divisions because we've got so many matchups we've needed to see and we haven't been able to see.
Okay, we do know that also Kim Jae-young and Tank. Was this fight cancelled, Chris?
Yes.
Was it rescheduled for this card? Because it was cancelled at the end of January because of COVID. I thought it was on this card again. It's just quietly disappeared. I've only just realized now because I didn't see either of them in the weigh-ins. What do you
That's
remember?
it, because just in my opinion, right, I think you keep Kim and Tang fresh. And personally, I think you give Kim the title shot straight after. And I think maybe you match the loser up against Tang Kai. And I think you're in a win-win situation.
I swear this was on this card originally. I'm just trying to figure that out. And then it's just disappeared. I know this card has taken a lot of. It's been moved. Okay, yeah. I'm not seeing things, Chris. It's been moved to 1X on the 26th. Yeah. So, yeah. That I was pretty sure it was on this card. Okay, I'm glad I'm not going senile or insane. Very good. Okay, well, that one's also interesting, but we got another title fight here. We already talked about it a little bit, Chris. Bibiano and John Lineker, Bad Blood. Initially, it was going to be on that card. Cancelled, rescheduled a month later. You've gone for Bibi, Chris. A lot of people are going for John Lineker, but why do you think Bibi?
This is just one of those fights to me. It's just back and forward, back and forward. I can see reasons why both guys win. You know, John Lineker had that fantastic run over in the UFC, fantastic run in Jungle Fight. He's come over here and he really has kind of just blown the doors off, right? He's made one of the best debuts ever in one championship. He's really, really run himself through the gauntlet super quick as well, just knocking people out. Absolutely dominant, particularly his win over Gafurov and Wervin. He kind of moved Belangon out of the situation a little bit. And the fact is, what makes this so exciting is right underneath this, it's just like the featherweight division above it. But we have such fantastic athletes right below this with Kwon, with Stephen Lohman, with your boy Fabricio Andrade right there, ready to go anytime. So, yeah, I think we're in for an absolute banger. I am backing Bibiano just on the basis that everything I've seen from him, he's the better fighter than John Lineker. But it all depends which Bibi we've got because, you know, he has got older and older and older. Is he 43 now, is it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, he's
43.
So he's 43. He's had so many fights. He's been in this game so long. He's been fighting about 15 years now. You know, he was fighting Uriah Faber and Kid Yamamoto back in the mid noughties. So it shows how long he's been around. I think this fight could go either way, but I just think if John Lineker doesn't put him out in the first three, I think Bibiano Fernandes just has a lot more experience. He's been fighting 5 rounders for about 14 years now since he was a champion in Dream. Yeah, you just got to go with Bibby because I haven't seen anything that's really showed that he's regressed at all.
All right. Well, this one was cancelled, like we said, Prajan Chai and Joseph Lasiri. So I think Marty and Kirill will be third from top. Former featherweight champion, the situation, Martin Nguyen. He's back against Kirill Gorobets, Ukrainian, 11-1. Looked pretty huge, Chris. He initially failed hydration, but he made it for the second time. This is a tough one for Martin, isn't it? He needs a win. He knows that.
100%. And you know what? Kirill is a little bit of a viral sensation. You know, he's had some knockouts and submissions. They've been featured all over the internet. As well, just so well versed. I think he's got 5 decisions on his record, 3 submissions, 3 KOs, so he can do it all. And the fact is, when you look at his submissions, he has just some of the best submissions. You know, I think he's got 2 Peruvian neckties on his name, which is a very rare submission anyway. And then on top of that, he's the only person I've ever seen win an MMA fight with a banana split. And I should have sent you the video earlier, but if you've ever seen a banana split and you're a man, you will understand the absolute pain of. I mean, they try and split you open from the groin like a banana split.
Well, yeah. I'm worried. You know, I think this guy is the real deal. But I'm going to show a bit of love to my boy Martin to win. I'm going to back him for the win. Yeah. He's up against the wall. He needs it, Chris. Let's see what the former champ can do. 2 defeats in a row. He knows the stakes here. That one could have title implications as well, couldn't it, Chris?
100%. I mean, you do look at the division. Neither of them are ranked, I believe. Martin is ranked 3. So if Kirill was to win in his debut fight against Martin, you've got to think he's got to be pretty much right there on the rankings, right?
Yeah. Okay. Quick question from Percy. Is it official Bibby missed weight, or does he get another chance before the fight? He gets another chance, Percy. He can come back at 12, but he failed 2 tests this morning. One this morning, and one this afternoon in Singapore. So it's semantics, I guess. It's not official that he's missed weight yet, but he missed weight on Thursday. Hopefully, it's all fine tomorrow. Anyways, so Ishmael Lant and Iraj Azizpour, like you said, Chris, Ishmael initially missed weight. I think he was fine in the end, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, all good. This one is on. Who are you backing, Chris? You've gone with Ishmael Lant.
Yeah, I'm going to back the big man for Rotterdam, you know what I mean? Speaking to some of my Dutch boys, this guy's got a huge reputation. You know, he's fought everyone who's anyone, had a great time over in K1. I believe it was Super Combat as well. He was over in Glory. He fought Anderson Silva. No, not that Anderson Silva. He's fought all over the world. Next generation as well. He's got a great record, you know what I mean? And he's won... I believe before he left Glory, he went on a 5-fight win streak. Anyone who could do that in Glory, which is, particularly in that period, the pinnacle of kickboxing. Still, I think, particularly in the heavyweights, is still the pinnacle of kickboxing, in my opinion. I'm just going to go with Ishmael Lant a little bit more. I think he's the bigger guy. He looks a little bit more athletic. And you know what? That Dutch style of kickboxing, in my opinion, is just the best in the world.
I'm with you, Chris, going for Ishmael Lant. Alex Silva. Let's see what fights they've got. I think like you said, they're missing a few. But Alex Silva is here against Adrian Matthijs, former title challenger. Did he ever get the belt, Chris? I'm trying to rack my brain.
No, Alex Silva never won the belt, I believe. But yeah, I think he's still got it in him. I like it now that he's got that little bit of a beard going on. He's kind of copying Onglar. He's gone dark, gone evil, whatever you want to call it. Shadow Alex Silva. or Shadow Little Rock, if you want to call him that. I like it. I think he's embracing it. I just think he's going to have a little bit too much for Adrian Matthias.
I'm with you there. Going to pick Alex Silva. Josh Time Bomb Tonner, former title challenger, against Pei Man Zhang from China. Who you got, Chris? You are going for Josh Tonner.
Yeah, you know what? Usually, and everyone knows this who watches this show, I do usually have a little bit of a bias when it does come to my Chinese fighters. We are the South China Morning Post after all. But you know what? Josh Tonner, to me, I mean, this is a guy who people forget in Muay Thai, he was almost unanimously Kick Magazine, I think, had him ranked #1 in his weight class over Muay Thai kickboxing. I think the only Australian, I think, to actually do that apart from John Wayne Parr. So just kind of show you of the esteem that this man is held in. Absolutely fantastic. Fighting out Canberra. I mean, look, if you've got over 100 wins on your record, it's got to say something, right? And we have seen it recently on and off with a lot of these Chinese fighters. They come over with these good records, these big reputations, but can't always just kick cans in China, right?
Yep. I mean, he was outclassed, wasn't he, Chris, against Sam A?
Yep.
But I think Sam A's retired now, right? Am I correct?
I think so.
Yeah. Maybe that frees up his path to getting another shot. A couple of big names in Super Series have gone. I'm just going to check quickly, but yeah, let us know who you're picking, everyone. I'm going to go with Josh Tonner as well. Who's the world champions rankings? Going to One's website. Okay. Yeah, Sam A, #1 contender again at Muay Thai strawweight. Let's see. Sorry, Sam A still #1 contender, but I think he's retired. So Josh may be leapfrogging him there and getting a shot. Who knows? A big win here could get a shot at Prajan Chai. Anyway, let's move on down the card quickly. We've now got Echo Ronnie Saputra and Chan Ratana. Chan missed weight badly, Chris, as we were saying. It's got to play a factor, 100%. Hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it is going to play a factor. But you know what? I just got to go with Echo Ronnie Saputra on this. You know what I mean? He's been missed a little bit. I think he's absolutely great fighter. You look at his last fight, he came out absolutely standing and banging. I think he knocked the guy out in about 12 seconds. Chan Ratana is a great striker. But that's where the problem lies. You know, you look at Echo Ronnie, he's just such a fantastic wrestler. He's got a great ground game. And I just think if he's able to hone in on that and use his ground game to the best of his ability, I think 100% he should be able to dominate and get Chan down. No disrespect to Chan, but he's always been a little bit of a stepping stone in this division.
Okay. Hello, Nick says Noda. Hello, Noda. Good to see you back on the show. What happens between TRT, Vitor, and One? Asked Percy. Vitor left without ever fighting about a year ago, I think it was. I don't know the exact time scale. What do you think, Chris? When was
that? Was it he left about? Was it May, June, July?
Yeah, I think
they left
so.
in good moments, right? Because I think they just knew it wasn't going to work out, and I think he's just a little bit busy making appearances on AEW, and in particular guiding his son's possible collegiate football and possible NFL career after that.
Well, he had that silly fight with Holyfield, was it, as well?
Yeah, that's it. I believe you got paid an absolute fortune for that fight, so why not do that instead?
Yeah, from the time that One signed Vitor to the time he left, One changed direction, I think, in what they wanted. I think they were moving away from having these legends fighting. They're still doing it a little bit, you're seeing with John Wayne Parr, but I think they're going more towards like fleshing out their divisions with young, hungry talent than paying a bucket load for big names, you know, whose heyday has come and gone, and having these kind of freak show fights, you know, no disrespect, but I think Vitor wanted to have a fight, you know, some special rules things with like Nolani and a few others. I don't know. I don't think they could find anything. I don't think he wanted to fight anyone in that heavyweight division, did he, Chris? Any of the real
No, he was never. He always said he wasn't really interested in fighting for the title. He was just interested in kind of going for these freak show fights, money fights, big fights, which is a little bit of a shame, really, because I would have loved to have seen him go against someone like an Ong La or now the Ridder, because I think it would have been fantastic. And I think if either of them would have beat Vitor, it would have been fantastic for their profiles if he would have fought at light heavyweight.
100%. Oh, let's go through the card though. We got Liam Nolan and Kim Kyung-lok.
Just before we go on to this fight, we will just follow the order and just say it's been stuck in. And you've got Imam Barlow versus Daniela Lopez, which is just before this fight. I will throw it out there quickly. I'm going to back Imam Nolan. I think she's like one of the best female kickboxers and Muay Thai fighters that the UK has ever produced. You do forget, I believe if her record isn't very easy to find, but I think she's got something like 120 wins, so you've got to respect that. So on that one, I'm going to back Imam Barlow.
I'll join you on that, Chris. And any others missing here from this lineup?
Next up is Liam Nolan versus Kim.
Okay. Well, yeah, like we said before, Kim missed weight pretty badly, I think. So I think he's got to come back on Friday, make weight for this one. But you've gone for Liam Nolan anyway, Chris.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think he's absolutely fire. I think he's a beast. I think he should be looking at calling out for the title
Just
every
copying you
single
on everything.
possible opportunity. I know Kim is an absolute beast, but I don't know who. I know his main training partner, I believe, isn't it Okra Yoon?
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is Okra Yoon. And I know MMA fighters are really good. Okra Yoon's got fantastic hands, but to me personally, he should be training with kickboxers. He should be training with Muay Thai artists. You should be based out of Korea first and all. I know like there are some good kickboxers there, but personally for me, you'd be based out of Thailand ideally, right? Thailand, China, there's a lot more good competition, or I'd be split my time there as well. So I think this is a little bit of a tough one for Kim. I said Nolan to probably win it by KO TKO going into the second or third.
All right. And are we missing any more here on the order?
I believe that's
twins.
it, yeah.
Have we done the Lopez? Daniela and Milagro.
And we've done Daniela in Imam,
Okay.
so we'll do this is the opening fight of the card, to my knowledge.
Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Lynn Hashin and Milagros Lopez. Lynn is back, Chris, from not long ago. She fought and beat Nguyen, was it right?
That's it.
She called for an atomweight title shot. That has not happened, but she's got a kickboxing fight now.
That's it. Apparently, she wants to concentrate on the kickboxing, which I think is a little bit of an oddity. She did come in. She had that great win against Jamari Torres with the triangle choke. She did kind of get out wrestled, but I think she showed a lot of heart and determination in her loss against Rito. And then obviously she had that very, very one-sided win over B. But obviously we can look into that what we want. B is very late to the sport, so can't have to take that with a grain of salt. But with Lynn Hishin here, I think she's got a little bit of a mountain ahead of her. Both the Lopez sisters are actually beasts. They've got fantastic records, and I just don't think the UFC would have signed them both. I don't think one championship would have signed both of them and flown both of them out here to lose on the same night.
Strawweight as well, Chris. So she's not messing around with any weight cut here.
Well, that's it.
Okay. Well, that's the whole card. So there we go. Make your picks on Fanatics, everyone. Otherwise, as Chris said, I think we're just going to chat a little bit about some of the recent news. I'm going to have to be careful what I say because I've heard things, but I need to confirm it all. But sorry,
I
Chris.
have one question first. I want to hear from you, Nick, and I know you're back to Martin over Kirill. Do you think we will see a different Martin now with him fighting out back in Sydney, right? Back in Australia, back in his true home. He's not fighting out Sanford anymore. He's not been separated from his family. Do you think him being at home and being more settled is that what is tempting you?
I think it's interesting. If Martin wins, he might look at it and say, I'm going to do all my camps in Australia again now.
I think there's no need to go back to Sanford if he does win, because it obviously wasn't working out for him. I think he went 1-2, did he, in his time at Sanford? So
yeah, it's obviously he's training with, I think, huge names out there, and he's got Henry Hooft, who has really improved Ongla. It might not be a good fit, mainly just because he's so far away from the family, and that was a messy time for him, 2021. And I don't think he's going to convince his family, is he? Or make that
No.
call to move them out to Florida. I think if he goes back to Sanford, he may have to take the family with him. Otherwise, I think you may see him stay at Australia. I don't know. He seems confident, Chris, from the interview.
Yeah.
I'm a
And
little worried, because Kirill looks
the
the
one
real
thing I
deal.
would say is, and Dylan Thomas has always said this, he says sometimes fighters, one of the reasons why some fighters in Europe can be so good, or fighters from a small gym that doesn't have a lot of fighters, is you get all the time with the coach, right? And obviously at Stanford, you know, how much time does Martin get with Henry Hooft when he's got, all these fighters, ahead of him, fighters from all over the world, champions in Bellator, champions in the UFC. You can't always get that much one-on-one time when then, you look at someone like, Darren Till at Team Cowborn or Overeem over in Utrecht in Holland, um, even Combat Brothers, right? Because you do look and they have Derrida and Musasi. They don't really have many other guys out there fighting in these huge organizations. So you assume they get a lot of one-on-one time, right? And maybe Martin's gone back and realized, ooh, I'm kind of the star of the show. If I want 2 hours a day with the head coach one-on-one, I can get that back in Australia. Are you going to get that with Henry Hooft? I don't think Henry Hooft does that for anyone, unless you build into a really big fight, but I don't believe you get that there. I might be wrong.
How often is Henry there as well, Chris? He seems to be
Yeah.
always in
Cornering
one part
people
of the
left,
world,
right, and
cornering someone. Yeah,
center.
same with some of the other coaches as well.
That's one thing you say about Gary Tull and the Dana Head Death Squad. And I mean, I know they've broken up now, but I think they never really got past about 15 to 20 people, did they? At their peak.
Yeah,
When you do look at that, that is a very, very small squad, but having the right amount of people and the right amount of characters, it's obviously a lot more manageable, right?
I think so. We'll see how it plays out for Martin. Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
that he stays in Australia. It's slightly heart over head, this pick. I'm wary of Kirill, and let's not even forget he's Ukraine. He's fighting for a lot this week. A lot of
Oh,
motivation.
you know what? Martin is one of those fighters who fights with all of his heart, but it's going to be hard to outdo Kirill this week, right? With everything that's going on in his home country.
Yeah, so I'm not really surprised if Kirill wins, but I'm backing Martin. I think we're going to see a reaction from. We have to see a reaction, otherwise this is very very slippery slope for Martin. That would be 3 losses in a row. He may have to consider maybe going down to Bantam. I know he said I don't ever want to do that again after the. He said he would only do it for Bibiano. Maybe if Bibiano beats Lineker, Martin might consider. And Martin is on the wrong end here. He may consider trying to get that win over Bibiano because he thinks he was robbed there. He's
Yeah,
complained
100%.
personally to me about that one. But we'll see. I'm backing Martin. I think he can do it. It's gonna be a great fight either way, but a very very dangerous opponent.
100%. Oh man, like it is just one of those fighters, right? You've just got to totally represent Kirill. But I mean, you can literally type his name in. If you go to his topology page, it's also got his name in Cyrillic or what some people call the Ukrainian or the Russian or Eastern European alphabet. Go copy and paste that and just type it into YouTube. I mean, he's got some highlight reel and just check out his banana split. Any man in the world will understand the pain that is associated with a banana split.
All right. Well, fair play to Martin as well for taking this fight. It's definitely not shirking the challenge, is he?
100%. And I think I checked a few hours ago, and Kirill's hometown, I believe, is totally overrun, fully under Russian control. He's about halfway between the Belarusian border and Kharkiv. So, you don't know what this guy is going through.
But yeah,
it is going to be really, really tough.
on that subject, the Ukraine Russia situation, it has affected this card, Chris. There were you saw it, didn't you? I think I'm reporting what is out there that it was Tagir Kalilov is the one who he put on his Instagram story that he'd been told he was no longer. This was about Monday or something that he had been told he's not fighting this weekend. Maybe it was earlier than Monday, but he was told the Russians, Singapore, are not allowing the Russians to fight, basically. So I think a few of the other Russian fighters on the card also hinted at that on their Instagrams. So I mean, I think we can talk about that. I'm trying not to report anything here that's unconfirmed, but it seems, Chris, that there were a few fights on this card which were removed at late notice, and that might explain why the full lineup wasn't released till a few days before the show, and B, there were a few hastily. I mean, you look at some of these fights and they seem quite hastily put together, don't they? Lynn fighting kickboxing for one. I don't know.
That's it, yeah.
But if that is the case, and I'm speculating here, does that have big implications, Chris, for 1X? Because there are a few big fights on that card with Russians in them. And going forward even further, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Because you've got guys like Anatoly Malakin, the interim heavyweight champion, is from Russia. It's. I mean, 1X. Let's talk about that first. But that is an issue, isn't it? If this is the case,
that is a huge problem. I believe it is tough. It is tough to get around as well. I believe I'm not sure here, but obviously, I believe Japan and Korea have sanctioned Russia. I believe Singapore has as well in the region. It is going to be really tough if Russian athletes are sanctioned. It's a tough situation. Every sporting organisation is kind of going through the same thing. I mean, you only have to look at the Premier League football club Chelsea to really understand what the effects of this has been on sport. Or if you're a Formula One fan out there, what's happened with Nikita Mazepin losing this drive out there. It is kind of tearing a little bit of a hole in sports, and particularly any sports with huge amounts of Russian talent is going to be affected. So we don't know when. People even talking about this could affect the UFC. We haven't really seen it yet, but it is tough to say. I mean, there are workarounds around it. One championship is it is multiple companies in multiple countries that all come under one umbrella. I know there are friendly countries to Russia where you could always stage an event, such as a Hong Kong or China, possibly.
well, it does speed up the need, Chris. I think if they're going to get out of Singapore, if the government there is not going to let Russians fight, and I think Singapore imposed unilateral sanctions for the first time. It's pretty significant what they've done.
Because generally Singapore is it's very much the Switzerland of Asia, and it generally stays neutral. Switzerland of Asia in more ways than one. It generally stays neutral, but I believe it is one of the few places because I'm a big Formula One fan. If people out there don't know, and I believe right now Russians can only go to Brazil, the UAE, and China. I believe they're banned from all the other races in the F1 calendar. They can't go to, including Azerbaijan, Saudi Arabia, the UK, the US, Singapore, Japan. So particularly one championship being an Asian organization, you do expect places as well like Taiwan, Thailand, Philippines that have very strong ties with the United States to probably go down the same route.
Yeah, and it's Mazepin. Haas have got rid of him, and is it Magnussen is back now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing it everywhere. I wouldn't give up hope yet because one, haven't made an official announcement. I think they're still trying to explore that situation, is my guess. Until they officially announce something, let's hope these fights are still on because there's some big fights, Chris, that could.
And I think one of the problems that one championship have is that Temasek, which is Singapore's sovereign fund owned by the government, it's their investment fund. They have such a huge stake in one championship that they can't really do anything to be seen to undermine the government.
Yeah, high stakes, but some of these fights that might not happen if the Russians can't fight at 1X. Bantamweight Muay Thai title fight between Nongo and Aliverdi Ramazanov. The lightweight kickboxing fight between Niki Holzkin and Islam Murtasayev. Who else we got here? Yusuf Sadulayev. Bantamweight fight with Shoko Sato would be off, which would be a blow for the Japanese side of it because they're really bigging up that card for a BEMA pay-per-view in Japan. I think there's more. I'm just scrolling through. One thing, I mean, if it affects Belarus as well, that could see Chingiz out of the Grand Prix final against Sitichai. I hope not. He does have Azerbaijan roots, so he may be able to use that side of it to get in on the card. But a few big fights there at risk, Chris. It's
100%. If I was any Russian fighter out there with a foreign granddad or anything, I'd be looking and applying for passports right now.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But it's such a blow, isn't it, if this does happen? Because having ridden out that the last 2 years, of the pandemic, and they finally got, a full crowd, huge card, media going back, fans there, everything, restrictions finished in Singapore, looks like. Then you get this, a bloody war starts. They can't catch a break, can they? Not to trivialize the situation at all, but it is.
I think if I was one championship, the one thing I'd be looking for is particularly that heavyweight division. I mean, you've got the Russian and the lightweight division now, but he's quite far away from a title anyway. But I'd just be looking at creating interim titles, particularly as well, in my opinion. You could always, one championship did do it with DJ. They could always look to trade.
Oh, a trade, yeah.
I mean, that is something that does open it up.
Well, here's the card. It's still on their website, so, and I think until you see that removed, let's hope it's still on. Angela Lee, Stamp, Rodtang, DJ. Oh, it's such a big card, isn't it? Adriano, Yuya, Shinya, and Sexyama. That's going to be fun. Falayang, John Wayne Parr, Chingiz against Sitichai, kickboxing Grand Prix final. Supon and Marat Gregorian, featherweight kickboxing title. Kapitan Hiroki Akimoto, bantamweight kickboxing title. God, there's so many good fights here. Renier de Ridder, Andre Galvao, submission grappling. Ham Shohei, Denise Samuanga, the rematch, atomweight MMA. Itsuki Hirata is back against the Shadow Cat Jihin Radzuan, atomweight MMA again. One that we just mentioned there, Nongo and Ramazanov. Hopefully that stays together. Niki Holskin, Murtazaev, same there. Lito Adewang, Jeremy Ado, all Filipino face-off, strawweight MMA.
It's a rarity we get them.
Yep. Shogo Sato, Yusuf Sadalayev, like we said. Yeah. Amir Khan, Ryogo Takahashi, featherweight MMA. One for the Singaporeans there. Mate Yamaguchi, Daniel Kelly. This should be. I don't know what to make of this one. The submission grappling there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very, very rough night for Mei Yamaguchi, but we'll see what she can do. I don't know if you've been seeing much on her Instagram and her Twitter, but she's been training with the man himself. Yeah. The only man to, I believe, the only man to beat 4 Gracies in MMA, Sakuraba himself.
Yep, and Imanari training with as well.
That's nice.
Check out her. Yeah, she did a great interview with Tom Taylor on our channel, SCMP MMA. You can check it out later, or go to our website, scmp.com/MMA. You can read the interview there if you prefer that. She talked a little bit about that training she's been doing with them. Very interesting stuff. Hit the like button for the boys, says WMAC now. Thank you very much for that. If you haven't already, please do that. And another fight there, Ryuto Sawada, Senzo Ikeda, All Japan, strawweight clash. I think there's even more fights, Chris, which haven't been revealed yet. So
100%. I think it's probably going to be a split card, but we'll see. Be interesting to see what happens with the pay-per-view and what the pricing points are.
Yeah, I can't speak about that, but I've heard some things.
Oh, really? I've heard nothing, but you've got bigger ears than I.
Well, they're not that big. What am I saying? Some people in the chat. Federico, what's up? Federico always interacting on my Twitter. Great to see.
Wow.
Just rewatched the beginning of this live. I'm quite sure Alex Silva won the belt. Yeah, I'm thinking. I thought he did, but I better just check it out. It rang a bell in my head.
Yeah.
That's the wrong one. Little Rock. That's our man, isn't it?
Oh, he did. Yes.
Yeah, former champ.
Yeah. Naito, yes.
All right. I thought,
and then lost it again in the rematch.
Yeah. Again, my memory has served me well slightly. 2017 it was against Naito. Okay. Thank you, Federico. For pointing that out. Any other questions, comments? Please let us know. I think Tom Taylor is about to jump on, so I can get his take on it. And Chris, if you need to go have dinner, please feel free. Otherwise, I'll probably keep it going for a bit longer.
Yeah, give me a few more minutes. Is there any other big topics you wanted to mention? The World of One Championship?
I'm trying to think. That is the main issue right now, 1X. Yeah, and I'm going to be flying out there for that.
Oh, wow. You're so lucky.
Yep, my camera equipment is on its way, I think, somehow to Singapore. Getting it couriered from the SCMP office in Hong Kong out to, I think it's going to One Championships office, actually. So I'm going to have great time when I land at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, 22nd of March. I'm going to go track down my camera somehow. And then I'm probably going to have to give myself a quick crash course in how to use it, because I haven't used it for about 2 years since I last was at a one show, Chris, in Kuala Lumpur, December 2019, I think. That should be fun. I'm gonna have to hit the tutorials maybe on YouTube, and I think I haven't seen a schedule yet though, but I'm presuming there's going to be a media day.
Yeah.
I'm presuming there'll be a press conference. I hope so, at least. But yeah, nothing been confirmed yet. I don't know how far the restrictions are going to impact things in Singapore. So fingers crossed. It'd be cool to just see a press conference, wouldn't it, Chris, and really get that feel going again.
Have you booked your hotel or a One Championship sorting that out for you?
I don't know yet.
You know what? I'd love to stay in the Andas because I've just fell in love with that hotel because me and my girlfriend Sophie, I think right now we're on episode 5 or episode 6 right now of The Apprentice One Championship Edition. We are well and truly addicted. Some of the characters are amazing. Big up Clinton, legend.
I love Clinton, yeah, I remember.
Big up Eugene, legend. I like the people who cause a little bit of drama. The amount of double firings, I think it's 3 double firings we've had. It's been a bit of a mad one. Have you managed to finish it yet, Nick?
I got a few episodes in, but as is the way with everything, I haven't got through it all yet. I got a lot of shows I got to get through. I can only seem to do one thing at a time. And now we've got 5 or 6 different streaming platforms. It gets a bit messy, but I do intend to go back to it. And I have to use a VPN though in the UK. Can't get it because something to do with the Apprentice rights here are held by Lord Sugar himself.
Okay. Classic.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even realize that was still. Is it still going on, The Apprentice in the UK?
Yeah, I think it's still very, very big on BBC One in the UK. So I think there's a few different versions because my friend was telling me they used to have one in an Asian one with Tony Fernandes, the owner of Air Asia.
Oh yeah.
So they had a few different versions, and I remember back in the day, Trump was the real OG, and then they had like a Martha Stewart spin-off, and I think they had Arnie for a little bit.
Arnie, very good. Yeah, that was about it.
I don't know if you have time, Nick. I don't know if you can do it, if this Russian MMA organization will see you, but I sent you something on the WhatsApp. I don't know if you want to put that one video to about the 15-second moment so we can all witness the greatness of Kirill. I'm terrible at pronouncing his name. I want to say it's Kirill Gorobets.
Yeah, will I get a copyright strike for this or what?
I have no idea because it's not the biggest Russian MMA organization, and usually about 5 seconds should be okay.
Okay, so
you want to start off at about 15 seconds.
Okay, let me line it up. 15. Okay, coming up. All right, let me share it. Let me share it with the people.
I mean, and he also has 2 Peruvian neckties on his record, but just a banana split every time I see it. It's just the one I never, ever want to have to live through, particularly done by a professional athlete.
All right. Is this the spot then?
Yep.
Okay, let's see what happens. Oh.
Roll him over. Oh, there you go. There's the banana split. Yeah. It does not leave much to the imagination.
Well, hopefully Martin doesn't experience that. Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a good thing he's already had his children, right?
Yeah. Well, very good. Yeah. That's any other good finishes you saw of his, Chris? You seem to check him out on
He's
YouTube.
got a few good ones, but there's because you do forget this part of the world, Russia, the way they have adopted the sport. In some parts of Russia, it's a borderline national sport in a way, freakishly popular, and you see all the people who are good at jiu-jitsu, sambo, judo in those regions, wrestling, even boxers like Peter Yan, all funneling into this sport.
All right.
So it is fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know what else we can chat, and we could leave it there.
All depends if you're waiting for the man himself, Mr. Tom Taylor, or do you want to call it a day?
We'll see. He's having some technical difficulties, he said.
Well, anyone, while you're there in the comments, do you have any questions before we do the changeover, or we'll just call it there, I guess?
I'll see if he turns up. What else is there this weekend? We got Song Yadong in the UFC, I think, to look forward to. Any other cards knocking about? I'm not really paying attention.
Nothing in particular. No PFL Challenger Series. I believe there's no Bellator this weekend. Just so here we are, the South China Morning Post. What did you think of Yan Xiaonan on the weekend? Do you think she deserved to win that?
I was just going to say, I saw John's had an interview with JHK over on the All Star. You should check that out. The allstar.io, or you can see it on their YouTube channel, but there's an article as well there. She's talking about that decision loss to Marina Rodriguez. So the quotes here: "The groin getting kicked or knee doesn't only affect male fighters," Yan said. She said she was in agony because of that unintentional groin strike. Said it felt like her bone got kicked and that she could immediately feel the presence of blood. I just told them it's okay, give me some time. But after the fight, when I had the medical exam, there was a lot of blood there and it was very painful. Wow. Sounds horrific.
Yeah.
Illegal low blow. But good on Yan for continuing, and I don't know. I think you could make the a lot of people were upset about it, weren't they, Chris?
I had Yan Xiaonan win. I
did as
believe
well.
Derek clearly also had a win. I feel she clearly won the first two rounds. I don't understand how neither of the judges gave it. I think it was pretty terrible. I mean, you do look through it. I mean, Drake Riggs, Tristan Critchfield, Ben Duffy, Jay Petty, Sean Shear, Dan Levy, Danny Segura, Dominic Duranat, they all gave it to Xiaonan.
I did as well, but I'm nothing compared to those fine people. I'm just a pundit here. My opinion would take it with a pinch of salt, as with my predictions, but I had Yan Xiaonan as well. Disappointing because that win would have got her right back in the mix, Chris. Now she's on a 0-2 skid. Don't know what happens with her, but hopefully it's all fine. But yeah, I don't have anything else to discuss. I don't know about you. RSFC, as WMMA Scene now points out, is on later today. If you want to watch some MMA on Fight Pass,
having some fantastic events, some fantastic atmospheres. I mean, I want to say 2019 they started off over in France, pretty much similar times with the legalization, and they've just grown from strength to strength.
Yeah, our very own Rug came out of Aris, didn't he?
That's it.
And
I just tell anyone to watch it. They do have a fantastic atmosphere. Everything that goes on about it is great, and it seems like a really fun card to go to.
It does. I guess the other news worth about: Tony Ferguson, Mike Chandler have seemingly agreed to fight at UFC 274. It was reported by Sports Illustrated. I think Justin Barrasso, it was. Good scoop for them. I don't know about that, Chris. I just think that's another horrific matchup for Tony.
I kind of see that. Sometimes I do say it, and I do say sometimes people leave a little bit of themselves in the ring. Sometimes, particularly when they have Can be a one-sided fight, can be a two-sided fight. We saw it a little bit in Lawler versus Roy McDonald 1 and 2. See it a little bit with Gastelum when he fought Israel Adesanya. Zhang Weili versus Joanna, I believe, is something a little bit similar. And I do always look at Tony Ferguson, and particularly that Justin Gaethje fight. He just left upon himself in the ring. I mean, he got battered from pillar to post in that, and then he went on in the next 2 fights against was it Charles Oliveira and then Beneil Dariush, and I believe he lost both those fights 30-27, 30-27, 30-27. You could have gave them probably 30-26 because they were so one-sided. The only advantage, Michael Chandler does get caught from time to time, but Tony doesn't really have that power. Tony does get caught quite a lot, so it is pretty tough to say.
I mean,
I think if he loses this, that's really it of him at the elite level, and he could be caught. Overeem's been caught. People with better records have been caught. Former title challengers like your Jacare's, and you lose 4 fights nowadays in the UFC, and you're out there.
Yeah, that was, as I said, on Sports Illustrated. You can see it. It's on MMA Junkie as well there. But other news, Paige Van Zandt signed with AEW. They got a Lineker Bibiano preview there. Kevin Lee talking about UFC. It's pretty quiet though, isn't it, Chris? But
the one other thing I'd say before we end it, we might as well call it the big news, I guess, for PFL. Kayla Harrison resigning.
Yeah, Kayla Harrison. There was genuine interest, from the UFC. I think
Bellator as well.
Yeah.
I think had a lot of it in where obviously Chris Cyborg is kind of on a little bit of a farewell tour, and I think Kayla would have been a fantastic matchup for her.
Indeed. Good catch for PFL. Fairtex Fight as well has some MMA and Muay Thai in Thailand this weekend. Thank you, Chuck. All right. I can't see Tom, so I'm just going to leave it there. We hit the hour mark. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow for one lights out about 15 minutes before it starts, which when does it start? Let's have a quick look. 7 p.m. Singapore time, so I'll be here about 10:45 UK in the morning. Figure it out, the math yourself, guys. So
it is nice with the 7 p.m. Singapore start time rather than the 5:30 we had 2 weeks ago. So that was a little bit more time to get a good dinner in.
It's a long day, that one.
That's it.
I'm not too disappointed that this card is a little shorter, but there you go. Here's the card again quickly. Tanley, Gary Tonin, obviously Bibi and John. Bibi didn't make weight, hopefully does tomorrow. Martin Nguyen, Kirill, there you go. We gave our predictions earlier. Just track back if you are tuning in now, and you can see who we pick for every fight. Otherwise, Chris, give some plugs. What can people find you
on? Check me out. At Chrissy B_MMA. Get me on there. Message me anything on the Twitter. We can always chat about One Championship, UFC, Bellator, PFL, K1, even a little bit of Kunlun. I don't mind having a little chin wag about. I like a little bit of back and forth banter. And most importantly, though, you'll find me here tomorrow night. We'll be bringing it with the watch along. And guys, if you like the content we're doing, most importantly, don't forget to like and subscribe. And how about yourself, Nick? Where are people going to find you? And where are people going to find your fantastic words, you wordsmith of the East?
Well, yeah, we're about to publish a wrap on scmp.com/MMA. You can find our weigh-ins wrap done by Tom Taylor and myself. We'll be detailing all of the drama from this morning and this afternoon in Singapore. If you missed all this earlier on the podcast, or you just prefer it in written form, head over to scmp.com and that'll be there. I will. If you don't know, the paywall is down for all MMA content on SCMP. So don't worry about signing up, getting a subscription to South China Morning Post. I mean, if you want to, while you're there, plenty of quality journalism there, great 100%. Stuff, great coverage. But the MMA all free, so go crazy with it. Otherwise, you can find me there, Nico SCMP on Twitter. I don't really do much elsewhere. Otherwise, SCMP MMA on the Twitter as well, Facebook, Instagram. And my battery is running out on the laptop, so I'm going to leave it there, Chris. I will see you tomorrow, Chris, and I'll see you all there tomorrow for One Championship. Lights out, 7 p.m. Singapore time. Have a good one, everyone. See you later.
Peace.